Well, hello, everybody. I am so excited to bring Coach Ayo to you today. She is a certified health and wellness coach, and she really wants, her heart is to really help women and people in general. I'm not sure if she's specifically for women. We'll get into that. But she helps people really step into living their best life. She does help focusing on weight loss issues. All while kind of encompassing the whole habits momentum, learning how habits, like as we stack them, they can bring lasting results that will sustain you for your weight loss journey. Today, she is here to share with us about weight loss and habit change. And I am excited to hear what her wisdom and knowledge and expertise is as she brings this to you today. Because I'm a huge believer that as we establish habits, it tends to, when we pick those good ones, it kind of washes out the bad ones. And as we become solidified with those habits, they become part of our life and our lifestyle, which if you're looking at health and wellness and habit stacking, that's a nice little marriage as we are walking towards like a weight loss journey or any other health issues that we might be facing. So I don't want to like babble too much because I'm going to give the floor to Ayo today, and she's going to share her wisdom with you and maybe some tips and tricks that we can use in our day-to-day to establish healthier habits. So it's all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach Stacy. I am so excited to be here. It's a privilege that I'm grateful to God for and to you. And hello, everyone. Also, and like Coach Stacy said, I'm more into helping people live their best lives yet, and that's because this is something that has worked for me and my husband. So we are like primary beneficiaries of what I now teach and help other people with. Okay, so who am I? Who is? Let me start with who am I and what qualifications do I have to help people? First of all, my name, like Coach Stacy said, is Ayo. I'm Ayomi today Oyedepo. And I'm a child of God. I love God. I'm a Christian, born again Christian. So that would always be in what I do. It's sprinkled throughout what I do. I refer to God. I refer to Jesus Christ and not to the universe, like some people say. And I am so proud to be associated with the living God. And then to health coaching, how did it all start? In 2018, I observed my husband kept coughing and coughing and coughing. And I kept wondering, this cough is unusual. Why will he keep coughing? I told him I was going to make an appointment with the doctor, and he said no. But when I couldn't bear it anymore, I picked up the phone. I looked for a naturopath because before that time, I had always had this idea that you should eat to heal. Whatever you put in your mouth should be able to heal you. And I was not a fan of conventional medications. I didn't really believe in that because I knew they would always have side effects. You take them, you get well, but then something else happens. So I was looking for someone who would agree with me, who had the kind of idea and thoughts that I had towards healing. So I called a naturopath. He decided, thankfully, my husband decided to go with me. So we got there, and she exclaimed his blood pressure was high, extremely high. His blood sugar was also high. And I also decided, okay, there's nothing to it. Let me also get tested. Let's see where I am as well. She tested me. My blood pressure was fine, but my blood sugar was, she said I was pre-diabetic. My husband was fully diabetic
Wow.
with blood pressure. So these were two lifestyle diseases. And then that's where the cough was coming from. So they tried him, they sent him for an x-ray. And by the time the results came back, they said there was something wrong with his heart, that his heart was getting enlarged.
Wow.
So we went to see a cardiologist. Yeah, I think those ones to check their hearts. And so he kept saying it's impossible. He had not suffered a heart attack before with what he was seeing. But thankfully, thank God, we didn't know at that point in time. So the natural path we saw, we went back to her, and then she placed us on certain foods. Certain foods were out, certain foods to be eaten, some supplements to take. And so we started on that journey. She told me what to eat as well and what to take out. Mostly we were to feed on vegetables, minimal fruits because of their high sugar content for most fruit except berries. And we started doing that for like 3 months. We were doing that and we were seeing results. The cough was going away on its own and we were so excited. So of course we had appointments with her to check where we were at and all of that. And then I started also reading about all these things online because I'm very curious when it comes to health. And then I would have so many questions. Okay, so this is here on the internet, this is here. This supplement is for this is for this. Oh my goodness, I'm getting overwhelmed and confused. And there's nobody to ask, there's nobody to guide. There's nobody to tell me it has to be this combination and that combination. So I went back to her. The times we had appointments with her, I would ask her, oh, so I read about this herb, I read about ashwagandha, I read about broccoli, I read about this, and I'm told it does this. Should we include it? Should we take it out? And I observed she was hesitant to answer my questions. She really didn't want to provide answers. I don't know why. What we thought was to have us to keep coming back. That was what we thought.
She wanted you on her supplement program.
Exactly. So I think it was there I got upset and like, okay, no, so I really need knowledge. I need to go for knowledge. I really need to learn this. I want to know this. I want to be able to help myself, my husband, our children. And I wasn't even thinking about helping people. It wasn't in my thought. I just wanted us to be healthy. I didn't want us to spend our finances and resources on taking care of ourselves.
Right.
So I searched and I got enrolled in the Health Coach Institute. And that was where I got my certification from as a health and wellness coach. So I learned so much, a lot of things. I learned so much. I learned foods, how it affects you. I learned the gut, like almost every disease, sickness starts in the gut. So when your gut is healthy, it communicates with your brain, and not the brain. The gut sends messages to your brain, not the brain sending messages to your gut. So even people with anxiety, depression, if they can fix their gut, then it affects their mood, their overall mood. People with mood swings, when we fix our gut, when we eat the right things for the gut, and then it affects our overall mood.
That's right.
So you just find some people depressed, upset for no reason. Why are you this way? Well, I don't know. I'm just sad.
Yeah. And that's a real thing, right? Some people
is.
have a really hard time even getting out of bed. So
Yes. Yes. And the funny thing is, it's difficult for someone to link it to food.
Yeah. Or their
And
gut.
when you tell people,
Yeah.
it's almost like, no, it can be.
No, ice cream makes me happy. Right? it messes with your brain when you think that,
Yes,
like, broccoli or something
yes,
with it's got the nutritional density is going to be more beneficial for your mental health than the comfort foods, right?
yes, yes. Yeah, that's very true. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, so I learned all of that at the health coaching school, and I was like, yes, I think I know what to do. And then um, part of the requirements for me to be certified was to take on two clients for free and coach them and get their results and give feedbacks to my faculty. And I'm like, no, I didn't, this was not what I planned to do. I didn't plan,
This is just for me.
exactly, this is just for me.
Yeah.
I don't intend to um, make it big scale and then train people and coach people. No. But then I was not going to get certified. And I'm thinking I'm spending so much money and then I'm not going to have the certificate. So I just decided reluctantly, thought, okay, now I have to look for two people who will take me serious, who even though it's going to be free for them, they need to be
Do the
serious
work.
about it
Yeah,
and do what I'm telling them to do.
that's right.
So I started with them. In fact, I had more than two people because my husband is a pastor. So I told some people in church and, I want to.
Aw.
I had more than two people I carried through a 90-day program. And I was so satisfied and excited when I saw how it helped them from their skin to their mood to their weight.
Mm.
And that gave me so much joy. And
Mhm.
from there, having spent 12 weeks, 90 days doing that, the excitement and the rewards of the results that they got
Mhm.
prompted me to, okay, I really need to do this. I would like to help more people.
That's right.
And if I would had, my husband got completely diabetes free by food,
I love that. That
by
is such a
what
powerful
he ate,
testimony. That's great.
because we started taking our tests daily. And with time, we got to find out, oh, when I eat this food, it affects my blood sugar this way, or it
Mhm.
doesn't affect my blood sugar this way. So with nutrition, with dieting, with what you eat, it's not one size fits all.
That's right.
Something may be healthy for me, but doesn't work for you.
That's right. I'm a huge believer. I'm on the same page as you.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the fact that I can get away with rice doesn't mean you can get away with rice.
That's right.
So, and that's where a health coach comes in. We keep adjusting. Oh, all right. So we're going to try this. It's known to work, it's known to be healthy, but we really need to know if it fits you, if it is tailored to you.
Mhm. Yeah. It
Yeah,
really pulls us into that place of being a scientist of ourselves, right? Like
exactly.
really listening and taking note and mention of how those foods are affecting us. How's our energy? How's our moods? How are you bloating? Like any of that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the good news about the body is it's the best science lab in the world,
Hmm.
the best. And you have it with you 24 hours of every day.
That's right.
So you can study yourself, you can um, experiment on yourself, just like you go to your lab and experiment. You can do that on yourself and
Yeah,
see what works and what doesn't work.
that's right. I remember I food healed me at one time as well. Back in '08, we had a whole bunch of stress going on in our business and our personal lives. And I thought I was dealing with it really well, but my body was screaming a different story. Um,
Oh,
the doctors told me I was premenopause, and then I went to a naturopath who gave me tons of testings, and it's quite a process going to a naturopath if you've never gone. They do live blood scans, they do all kinds of things to really get underneath and figure out what your body's saying, and which I really appreciate, because half the time the doctor's 30 seconds, here's a prescription, see you next year, right? Like,
Exactly.
I love the care and attention that a naturopath will give you. And my blood was all caked together. I was 3 points away from needing a pacemaker. I was over 200 pounds, showing up anorexic because my body was just repelling all the nutrients. I was a hot mess. I couldn't stand being around myself, never mind my loving family who had to deal with me during that season of my life. God bless them for sustaining their patience with me. But it was the naturopath that taught me how food can heal. And he showed me the eat for your blood type diet.
Okay.
I know I'm not a huge fan of diets because, like you said, it's not a one size fits all scenario, but it really truly gave me a great outline on how my body will respond to specific foods. And so for an example, asparagus is on my good foods list. But when I actually cleaned my house and then you start introducing new foods to kind of see how your body reacts to them, asparagus is not one of my favorite. My body doesn't like it. I like it, but my body doesn't like it. It has a hard time digesting it and breaking it down. And so I would never have known that if I wasn't listening to what my body was asking for, right? So we can follow down all these different paths. So like the keto diet or this diet or that diet. And really you have to listen to what your body's asking for, because I know I've had other naturopaths tell me that I had to be on a keto diet because of my gut health. I have SIBO, which is the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And so I tried to go on keto for a while, but I was like becoming really miserable. And so then once I started bringing some additional carbs back into my life, like just the healthy carbs, like a sweet potato or a banana, like who knew a banana as a carb, but it is. And so when I started bringing those things back into my life, I started recognizing my body had more energy and my moods were getting more stable. And I was actually seeing progress on the scale in the right direction, not the upwards motion, right? So just listening and knowing your body. So I love how that's like the center point of your heart as a health coach, because I think a lot of coaches tend to miss that component. And I love how you sprinkle Jesus in everything you do, because he created us with these temples, and he created us to be able to heal ourselves. Not super, like we aren't some voodooies, but he created our bodies to fix themselves with what he's provided the earth, and that's the herbs and the plants and the different things that he's given to us. And so when we can tap into the knowledge that he's got for us on how to take care of the bodies that he's lent to us, then we are in so much better position, right? So tell me, tell me about habits and how habits is a huge piece of what you offer as a health coach, and how does that fit into this realm of nutritional balance and eating, healing your body with food?
Okay, so most of us, almost everybody, knows what to do, but we don't do it.
We'd be rebellious teenagers all our lives.
So we know I'm supposed to eat this, but I don't feel like it. We know it's going to nourish us, but then I just don't want it today. And so one of the ways to help as a health coach is not mainly focusing on what to eat. We know what to eat, but then spending most of the time working on habit change. Because we are creatures of habits. We 95% of our behaviors occur based on our habits, the habits that we've cultivated over time. So we go to certain foods by default. It's just programmed already. So we just reach for those things. So when we start to shift the habits gradually, when I'm able to change someone's habit and their outlook towards food, then I'm able to change their lives completely. Because that means I do not have to be there for them to do the right thing, for them to reach out for foods that nourish them when the habit is changed. But then if I focus just on diet, no, eat this, eat this, eat this, and my client doesn't understand why, my client has not, um, I've not worked on my clients to have their habits, their thinking changed. When I'm done with them, they could endure for 90 days. But then when I'm done with them after 90 days, it's just going to take a few weeks to go back.
Oh, a few weeks? Are you kidding? They have it on their calendar, like 90 days. This is the last day. I'm gonna go meet with my coach, and on my way home, I'm grabbing a bucket of ice cream and a bag of potato chips. I'm gonna plop myself down on the couch and call it a
Yes.
day.
And I'm going to reward myself because I've done such a
Right?
good
I
job for 90
earned
days.
it.
Yes.
Yes, that is so true.
So,
But if we don't change it up here,
yes,
we're not going to have that longevity, right?
exactly.
So I
Because
love that.
our habits are, it's a sum total of the little things we do on a daily basis, like brushing our teeth, taking a shower. All those things are already ingrained in us.
That's right.
So we do those things by default. So as a health coach, what I'm there to help you do is for you to reach out for nourishing foods by default, to change, to work on those patterns that have been there for such a long time, and then gradually, steadily move them in the right direction.
That's right.
Such that when nobody is watching, when the coach's voice is not ringing in your head, even when she's not there, you know, this is the right thing for me.
That's
I
right.
am nourishing me. It's important for me to, who am I becoming when I'm reaching for that meal that wouldn't nourish me? Who am I becoming when I reach out for the ones that nourish me?
That's right.
So when someone can have that in them more than the foods, then they have a lasting results. They've got lasting results. Because, you know, when I go for a function, a party, I know, and there's so many things in front of me. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to? I feel like eating everything. When the habit has already been worked on,
Yes.
you see it as, who am I becoming when I take this?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll reach out for a fruit instead. The condiments that I hear, I do not know the combination. I didn't make them. I don't know if it has too much sugar, if it's good for me. When you think about your habits, when you think of who you are becoming, when you eat those foods, it helps you, it cautions you. It's like the stop signal within you. So that's where habit change comes in. We work mostly, the menus, the recipes are definitely going to be there given to whoever it is I'm working with. But the main work is we have to change these habits that have been there for a very long time and replace them with life-saving ones, with lasting ones. And I've seen that work with my husband. He's been, before 2019 January, my husband could take soda like with every meal, with every meal. But then when he was told all of that, and then he drew up a strong why. You know, sometimes when we have our whys,
Yes.
we're able to, okay, so
Lean on it.
I'm not going to reach out for this. Since 2019 January till date, he hasn't tasted soda.
Oh, good for him.
And that's 2 years going on 3 years now. And
Mhm.
that's one lasting change.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's
I
one
love
lasting.
how you said establishing our why, because there's going to be times when you are at that party and you feel like it's that mindset shift, that piece also is like sometimes when we're on a diet or we're on a 90-day program, we go to a party and has all these options. You're like, oh, I can't have that. Instead of shifting our mindset and be like, I choose not to have that because I know it ain't going to make me feel good. Like your husband choosing not to have soda pop because he knows it's not going to serve him well. It's now a choice. It's not a I'm missing out. It's a
Exactly.
it's a choice that we choose to make it, and
Yeah.
we get stronger. And attaching our why to those choices really gives us the solid fat footing to make those lasting changes. I love
Yeah.
that. Your heart is so pure.
I think the point is to focus on what you get to have and not what you do not have.
Yeah, and there's still so many amazing options, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
many. So
And
many
that
flavors that we
makes
haven't
your
even
life
tried.
abundant.
Yes.
It makes your life abundant. You begin to see the many possibilities out there.
That's right.
But when the focus is on, oh, like you said, I can't have this, I can't have that, then it's like you're enduring. I just need this process to be gone.
Yeah. With my 90 days on the calendar, I need my chips and ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this should be a lifestyle. It shouldn't be, it's not a crash program.
Mm-mm.
It
No,
is a lifestyle of
right.
being in health consistently.
Yeah. And having that
So,
why, like you don't want to be getting a doctor's report saying that, hey, you're diabetic and you need to, and I know my older brother's diabetic, and I know that he still hasn't stepped into his power why. But when he has a sugar crash, he'll drink a jug of apple juice, like a whole liter jug of apple juice, like it's a juice box. I'm like, dude, that's not serving you well. Like your sugars go through the roof and then you feel like caca and then you want to sleep the rest of the day. Who's suffering? You and your family. Like you have to make better choices. But again, that why is such a crucial piece because and the why is going to attach to those habits we make, the choices that we make every single day, to have that lifestyle shift, not just like, hey, this is a 90-day program, let's see what kind of weight loss I can achieve. It's not just about the weight loss, it's the mental health, that whole gut support scenario that helps so many other areas of our body to live in vibrancy and
yeah,
energy and all of the goodness, right?
yes, right.
So, oh, you are so good, Coach Ayo. I love this vision that you have brought, and taking that need and desire for knowledge and wisdom in this area just to bring health and wellness to your family, and how God's like, that's not all, my dear daughter, that's not all.
Exactly.
I got more for you. So
Yes.
and just being obedient to that, and just how God just instilled that fire within you and that passion to really bring this knowledge and wisdom to others, because um the this whole industry has really tainted people's views on healthy living.
Yeah.
um, and I really hope and pray that people will catch the fact that it's not restrictive, it's not being living in a healthy
Exactly.
lifestyle, it's not like you're missing out, you're actually bringing more abundance into your life.
That's it.
um, I
Yeah.
love it. So good for you.
Thank
So,
you.
darling, if somebody, I know that you are becoming a partner within the Beautiful You coaching app, and I am so honored that you are wanting to come and share your wisdom and expertise in that space. So, if you're
You.
watching this video inside the Beautiful You coaching app or somewhere else within the social media channels of Beautiful You coaching, you can always reach out to her in the app. She'll be more than happy to um, connect with you in any which way she can, or help you in any which way she can. But if they're catching this video and they're not in the app, how do they reach out to you? You have a website, an email, like how do they um, reach out and book a session with you?
Okay, so I think my website is undergoing restructuring, but
Okay.
then the email address works. And I don't know if I could type it in the box if it's going to show or.
I will add it to our video. So when we're
Okay,
done our conversation, I will always put that in here so people will
okay.
see it. And your website, is there like a due date that you have that reconstruction? Because I can
Yes.
always put the website up and people can take a look and see if it's been gone live. So,
Yes, so it's gonna be on the 30th of October.
ooh,
That's the bottom.
it's
30th,
exciting.
yes, yeah. So it's gonna be ready by then.
Good.
Yeah.
And the name of your website is?
TheDanHW.com. So it's the Dan Health and Wellness. Then HW stands for Health and Wellness.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the den, what is the significance for that?
Okay, so because this whole thing started with my family, first of all, we call our house the den. And where that where that name comes from was from a church service that my husband preached, and it reminded us of Jesus Christ being the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and we are joint heirs with Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And so we should be as bold as lions as well. As believers, we should be as bold as lions. So that is where that thinking came for us, that we have a lion nature within us because Jesus Christ is both the lion and the lamb. So we could decide, we could choose to display our lion nature or our lamb nature, depending on the circumstance, the situation at the time. And of course, the earthly place where a lion lives, their cave, is called a den. So we called our house, the footmat in front of our house reads, "Welcome to the den."
Oh,
And so that's why we have the lion logo in the house as well. So everything we do, we bring that name back into it because that's where it all began from, the den. This is what we eat at the den. This is how we live at the den. So that's where that name came from, the den, Health and Wellness.
that is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Have you read the book? I'm just trying to find Lisa Brevere, The Lioness.
No, I haven't. I have
Oh,
seen it.
you will love it because
Okay.
she does talk a lot about the lioness and how that, you know, that whole concept of who we are as women and letting that lioness out and allowing ourselves to really tap into the power that Christ has within us. And it's such a good book. So
I will definitely read it now that I've heard it from you.
yeah, it's so good, so good. I have the book and I actually plowed through it on Audible, and I want to listen to it again and then go through the book as she reads it to me because I'm an Audible
Oh,
learner or visual hands-on kind of girl, and so reading sometimes doesn't. Sometimes my thoughts will. I could read a whole page and be like, well, I just took a vacation, like, so gotta come back and do that again. So I want to kind of marry the two and read that book again, but having the two combined, but so good, so good.
wow.
Well, thank you, darling. I very much appreciate you coming and
Thank
sharing
you.
your wisdom with us today. So anybody here within the community, if you are looking, do you do free consultations and then okay,
Yeah.
and do you have any specific programs that you're offering right now, Coach?
Okay, so it's the 90-day weight loss program. Yes.
Yeah,
So that focuses on the food and majorly the habits.
I love it.
Yeah.
So good. So 90-day program working with Coach Ayo to actually transform your thinking and your habit creation? Do you work on that like stepping stones, so it's not like ripping off the band-aid and be like, hey, I'm naked? What do I
So it's
do?
stepping stones. It's gradual. It has to be gradual. Yeah,
Yes, for
because
longevity.
that's what is going to feel natural. If it
Yes.
doesn't feel natural, it feels like a chore, and you don't want that.
Yeah, you're just not going to answer your coach's call, I tell you. Like,
Exactly.
sorry, I'm not home. Leave a message at the beep. So,
Yeah.
no, this is so good. So definitely reach out to Coach Ayo if you want to learn more about her 90-day weight loss program and how she uses habits and mindset shifts to give you that longevity, that lifestyle change that is going to sustain your health and wellness goals. And that is exactly why we are all here. We want to have a better life. We want a better mindset. We want a better temple, our bodies to be transformed in the way that our goals are, our visions for ourselves. And that whole spiritual component as well, my friends, because she brings and she sprinkles the little Jesus love and care into everything that she does. And I'm a huge believer that when we have those three pillars working in unison, that we can accomplish all things.
Yeah,
And
all things.
all things. And so I just want to encourage you to reach out to Coach Ayo and just have a conversation with her. As you can tell, she's full of compassion and love, and she'll meet you where you're at, and she'll give you whatever tools and resources that she has to see you succeed. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for your time
Thank
today, darling.
you.
I
Thank
very
you
much
too.
appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Yes, and I'm happy that you have decided to be more involved within the Beautiful You coaching app, because people just need to hear more and more of this stuff. And I think it's one of those things that the more we hear it, sometimes like our kids, like we can tell them the same thing at 12 times over and they just don't get it. But if somebody else says the exact same thing to them, they're like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'm like, dude, like I've been telling you that for years, but they won't listen to us. So, but the more we share this message and the more we get people to actually hear exactly the heart and the motive behind these changes for that longevity of health and wellness, sooner or later we'll catch on. Like I emptied my bucket of excuses. I'm working out on a regular basis now. I'm not allergic to exercise anymore. So like, and that took time for me to get over myself and to stop buying into my excuses and start like, and it's a habit thing for me. I'm like, okay, this week, my goal for September was to move 4 times a week, but I started off like just going for a walk twice a week. And now I have a personal trainer that comes into the app and we do live workouts on Thursdays. So we'll be doing that this afternoon. It holds me accountable. And so now, and then it was 3 days a week. And now I'm actually at my 4. And in October, my goal is to work out 5 days a week. So and again, like we just got to do those stackings, right? And the more we stack, the more success that we have. My goal is to lose 20 pounds by Christmas, which is really 5 pounds a month, because I started this in September, beginning of September. And if you break it down, it's like a pound and a half a week. When we look at it, we're like, oh, I can do that. And I know us women, we roller coaster. Like I can gain 5 pounds just by looking at a chocolate cake. Never mind. Like I might be able to lose it, but I just have to look at what's on your plate and I'm like instant. But it's one of those things that I'm like, no, it's just a pound and a half a week, as long as I'm staying consistent and moving my body, eating properly. And the more we eat what our body wants, the more we crave those amazing things.
Oh, yes.
And the less you crave for the sugars, the less you want to reach out for the sodas and the different things that are comforting us right now, which really aren't serving us. So
The more we eat
definitely.
healthy, the more we want to eat
That's
healthy.
right.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, the more you eat healthy, the more food you really get to eat. People just don't understand that concept because there's more options for us. I know my son, he's an athlete, and so he has to eat was 160 grams of protein every single day, so a pound per his weight, because he's so active. Now, I don't recommend everybody to eat their body weight in protein, because we're not all the same, don't all have the same activity level as he does. But it blows my mind how many calories that boy has to intake to be able to sustain his energy levels. So
Wow.
just knowing, and that's another piece I'm sure you'll teach people throughout your program, is just knowing how much fuel you really need in your tank to
Definitely.
really
To
to go
move.
an extra mile. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I'll stop babbling now. I know. See, saying goodbye is always the hardest for me. I'm like, oh, and by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, darling. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day, and I will see you inside the community.
All right. Thank you.